Okay. Hi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. There's one video on it. So one of the flowers that we are making for the Artisphere project actually comes from a really cool book. So this book is awesome. It's a bunch of crepe paper flower stuff. And so the one we're going to make today is a faded coral charm peony. But instead of making you read instructions, because these instructions are so boring to read and just like, I don't know, it's like reading surgery. It sucks. I'm going to make you a video, so you have to watch me. So we're gonna make something that kind of looks like this. Actually, probably more like this one. All right. So this is gonna be the light blue packet, and I will print out the QR codes. But if you open your packet, all right, you're gonna get a stick, like a little piece of wire. You're gonna get, ow, my foot's falling asleep. You're gonna get these two little things, and then you're going to get two different sizes of white paper. Some of the packets have one long strip of the smaller, so this is like the bigger one, meaning it's like taller, and then one is smaller. Some of them have like long strips, some of them have two separate strips. It's just because I was running out of paper, but imagine this is long. So the reason this is like an advanced one is just because you have to cut your own petals out. It's like not that hard to make, but you just have to like fold and cut a little bit. So let's go over how to make this. There's my little display. Okay, so there's 3 colors of fringe, and the fringe is going to be the middle part. My plant anatomy is suffering. I took AP Bio in 2012. But anyway, so it kind of just gives some like nice contrast. So this one is like already done for you. I bought all of the crepe paper off of Temu. And so it was like vividly yellow, like not natural yellow. And so I tried to like fade this out by soaking it in tea, and then dried it. And so it looks a little janky, and it's still really bright, but it is better. So this one's done for you. The other ones, you can do these at the same time, just like overlap the paper, like that. And then you can just like fold it on itself. And maybe like once or twice. If you have really good scissors and you have like super great grip strength, then maybe you can fold it more, but I'm just gonna do it like this a couple times. So to cut the, fringe, you want to leave yourself like a little bit of space, and then just like cut in the creases so that you don't have any big giant sections. And then you want the width between each of the like little fringes to be about the width of the scissor. So like that. So kind of like that, you know, like as small as you can get it without totally cutting them off. And just do your best, like, it doesn't matter. Okay. And so you're just gonna go all the way across the paper. Sorry, you have to listen to me talk. Okay, so once that's done, almost done. Oops. All right. So once that's done, then you can open it back up again. So the middle part of our flower is going to have a layer of white, a layer of the burgundy, and then a layer of this horrible yellow. So you can do that several ways. I think it's probably easier if you just like get some glue and just like glue the layers together first and then wrap it around the stick. It just saves time, I think. Also, the glue that I included on the table where all these flower packets are, it's just like a fast dry regular glue. If you have a glue guns are so much better for making flowers. Like it's so much faster. It's less messy. I just like could not bring myself to bring glue guns to the school. Like I feel like that would be the end of our Artisphere initiatives if we burned down part of the school. So we bought just regular glue. Okay, so just, enough. You don't need a ton of glue, but just enough to like kind of stick them together. All right. And the yellow piece is probably not as long as the other ones, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like an idea. Like, oh, there is some yellow here. And then put more glue on top. Make a lovely yellow sandwich. It does not matter what order you do it in. It's just kind of like, I don't know, choose your adventure. Because at the end of the day, you can trim it and make it look however you want it to. Okay, so I've just kind of sandwiched these layers, and I'm going to go ahead and do another couple layers of glue after I find a glue stick. Okay. All right. So I usually just start by like gluing a part of it. So like I didn't put glue along the whole thing. You can, it doesn't matter. It just depends on how fast you can be rolling this stuff. I usually just do a little bit at the end and then just kind of roll the stick up. You can see that. And then I usually do like 2 layers of glue when you're doing the base. I don't know if you can see it. Sort of. Maybe it's like somewhat shiny. Just because you don't want the middle part falling off of the stick. So like the wire, stick wire, whatever. Just because like, so this is going to be hanging on a board, and the back is like the wire kind of sticks the flower down to the board. And if this part is like not stable and the wire slips out, then your flower is just going to fall off. So to keep that from happening, I do have some like sticking the inner part of the wire to the glue, to the stick. Like there's some glue holding it in. But just to like make sure that it really doesn't fall out, I tend to kind of fill, you see there's like an inner cavern of emptiness. Cavern of emptiness. It's like my soul. I fill it with hot glue, and it kind of just makes it stick even more down to the stick. Okay, and then it just like kind of dries. Again, another benefit of using hot glue is this is really fast. Okay, so this part next, like right now I've just made like a cylinder with a fringe on the end, which is not like all that natural looking. So this is where you can kind of like trim it to like how a flower might look. So flowers don't have like a perfectly flat top, so I might like trim some of the side just to kind of give it like a curvature. Like that. And it doesn't really matter, you know, like just, it's like Bob Ross, you know, only happy accidents. Kind of ish. And then I just kind of, you know, flutter it around, make it look not so synthetic. The book that I took this from, like she really takes a lot of time to really make the flowers look completely realistic, which is great. But we are trying to fill an entire wall of flowers, and cannot spend 20 minutes per flower painting the leaves, etc. So from a distance, this will look lovely. All right, so that is the middle. It's a little bit better. Actually, trim part of this. This is where it's like a personal. This is like my therapy because I have raging OCD, and I like actually do have to remind myself it's okay if it's not perfect. And so little bits of imperfection are like me being okay with not having everything exactly perfect all the time. All right. All right, so while the middle cavern of glue dries to the side, now we can switch our attention to cutting our petals. So again, you're going to have two different sizes. One is bigger, one is smaller. Well, it doesn't matter what you start with first. This one is one of those ones where the smaller one is in two sections. Some of them, it's just one long continuous. It doesn't matter. This needs to make 8 petals. This needs to make 8 petals. So I've got 2 pieces, 4 each. Or you could just overlap them and save yourself some time. So I'm just going to stack these just to make my life faster. And then fold in half. Alright. And then fold in half again. Okay, so this is where you can exercise your creative nature. And, oh crap, the recording's gonna stop soon. I'll just link these two. Sorry, did not mean for this to take so long. We're back. Okay, so we're kind of like trying to make a shape here. So crepe paper, when you buy good quality crepe paper, it's stretchy. This is stretchy, but like it's Temu stretchy. So kind of, sort of stretchy. That being said, when we shape our petals, like we will pull it apart. So you're just trying to get like a general petal shape, and it's gonna be like you just cut, you know, a spoon kind of shape. You know, I'll show you what the end looks like in just a minute. And again, these are the smaller ones. This will be the inner part of the flower. So like when you're done, like you're trying to get them looking kind of like that shape, you know? If you want to get like real fancy, you can maybe make this like a little bits at the end so it's not like totally spoon shape. So like you kind of like that. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the bigger petals. So again, we want 8 petals to come out of this. So fold in half, fold in half, fold in half. All right. So the petal, that should be kind of what you're looking at. It's like, I don't know, the length of my pinky. All right, and then same thing, just kind of like spoon shape. Ish. So while we're doing this, while I was like trying to come up with the ideas for this or whatever, for the Artisphere, I was like, oh, crepe paper flowers, that'd be so cool. And then I was looking at the cost of crepe paper because I was thinking like, how expensive can this possibly be? It's paper. No, it's America, and you know, people manage to make everything expensive. Which I was not used to because I grew up overseas in Thailand where like stuff is cheap. So I'm always continually surprised at the price of stuff here. So that is why I defaulted to Temu and bought their crepe paper, which is like, it's fine. It's just, there's different weights of crepe paper. Like you can get like heavy weighted. This is more of like a medium weight. I don't know. It honestly just feels like birthday crepe streamers. Okay. Next part. So this is where you shape your flowers. And so you can, you don't have to shape them one at a time. You can shape like a stack of 2 or 3. Basically, so I've got 3 here. These are the big ones. Just try to keep them separate so it's easier on you later. You're just going to kind of like pull in the middle, right? And that kind of gives it like a dip shape, like that. All right. And so, you know, you're just kind of shaping what you think the flower petal should look like. And so you've got the dip in the middle. And then I want the edges a little bit ruffled, so you can like pull out a little bit in one part, and pull out a little bit on one part, and pull out a little bit on one part, and then maybe like crimp parts of it, just, you know, kind of trying to make it look like a flower. And then, so currently that's what I've got. I want my petals to be more, I don't know, multi-planar. And so I'm going to kind of take it like that. And I just pinch the end. That way when I attach it to the base, it kind of like sits a little bit differently, right? So looks like a salon chair. But that's the goal that we're doing for all of these. Same thing with the smaller flowers. So we're just going to do that for all of them. And then once I finish that, then we're going to glue them on. So I'm going to pause this so you don't have to watch me do this. Alright, so I've officially finished making all these into somewhat petal shapes. Okay. And again, like keep your big and small ones sort of separate. That way you can have like a more uniform shape to your flower instead of just a bunch of random big and small ones going around in a circle. Okay, so next we're going to, hold on, this is just kind of coming out a little bit. Ouch. Okay, so next we're just going to glue the petals around. So start with your smaller ones. And I usually just put like, I don't know, a little bit of a strip of glue or something in the middle or on the side. It doesn't really matter. Just so that you can get it like stuck to the side of your flower. Okay, like that. All right, and then as you go around, you'll get a nicer result if you kind of like slightly overlap them. So instead of going like right beside, just like overlap just a little bit. Just looks a little bit more natural. And we're just going to go around with the small ones. Just around and around and around, slightly overlapping them. Kind of like that. Yeah. And we're just going to go all around with the small ones and then all around with the big ones. So while I'm doing that, fun story for you. So if you haven't already met me, I constantly talk about my children because I love them. It's hard not to. When my son was young, he was like really into trains. He's 9 now, so this was like, I don't know, 6 years ago. He was like really into trains. And so my darling sister and her new husband were like, we're going to make Kai a train set, like map, you know? So, you know, those like felt maps where there's like little foam or like felt things where you can drive the train around on the flat piece of felt. And there's like, you know, ooh, there's a grocery store or whatever. And so they set out to make that and like personalize it with a Kroger, because Kroger was Kai's like favorite store for no reason at all. And somehow my brother-in-law managed to like 3rd degree burn his finger with the glue stick. And that is all that I've been able to think of this like entire Artisphere season, because I have gone through so many glue sticks and I've had so much hot glue on my fingers and I've not even come close to burning anything. Like it hasn't even felt hot. And I just don't know how he managed to burn the living daylights out of his finger. But he has been on my mind since then. So if you use glue sticks and hot glue, I don't know, don't be like Will. But the train set was a hit, and Kai loved it, as any good 3-year-old would. Okay. And if you've been hearing Rapunzel in the background, that is how I'm occupying Eve, my other one, while I make this video. Seems to be working. I don't actually love letting my kids watch lots of TV and stuff. I think it squashes creativity to be on screens all the time, but occasionally there's nothing wrong with a movie. Alrighty. So it shouldn't take that long to make this. You know, if you're trying to make something that was like a really luxurious flower, then I guess you could put like twice as many petals on. But just to make our supplies kind of stretch a little further and get like a similar result, we're doing 16 petal peonies. And it still looks nice, and it's not too hard. Okay, almost done. And then I will show you the results, because I know everybody's watching me on 2x speed right now. Or they've just given up at this point because they get the idea. I could be like Dr. Ward and say stuff off camera. So if anyone's watching this and has not had the pleasure of having Dr. Ward give a lecture, he is like fabulous. He is so funny. He's an excellent professor. He genuinely cares, and he is so funny. But he's like gotten in trouble before for saying stuff, and so now he'll just like say the same stuff that he would have said, but like off the like microphone. So like if you go to class, like you hear what he's telling you, but if you don't, then like you kind of have to listen real closely. But he's so funny. Love that man. All right, so at the end, that's kind of what you're looking to make. Yes, I understand the back is not impressive, but like you're not going to see it. If you really love this craft and are like, I'm going to go make a whole bouquet and just like put it in my house, you can definitely make the stems look way nicer and add leaves and like wrap it in floral tape. But for our purposes, like it's going on a pegboard, so that is what will be seen. That's what you have, and then you can kind of just like spread it open and make it look, you know, whatever degree of blooming that you want it to. So there you go.